Hey guys, how you doing? It's Tom. I wanted to talk to you today about the nature of the beast. I've been reading comments under my last video and I see so many passionate people who love this country. The problem is they don't understand the nature of the beast that we're dealing with. If you look at the events in Charlottesville, as I explained in my last video, everything was orchestrated, right? There's been a demonization of white people in this country, and then during the 2016 presidential election, the media wanted to tie President Trump to white nationalism so that people viewed him as a racist and tuned out his arguments. Whether you agree with them or not, that's just what the media's and the political establishment's game plan was. So everything is white is bad, white is the devil, white is the reason for all your problems. And during the election, the media propped up this guy, Richard Spencer, who's a white supremacist, really backward way of viewing the world. And they gave him a platform, even though he had 3,000 followers and he was really a nobody. But the media propped him up as he was the leader of this big movement. Because the idea is they wanted to create division in the country. And they wanted to show that, hey, Trump is leading to this big rise in white supremacy. And there has been some rise in white supremacy, statistics show. But again, the reason for that is a lot less to do with Trump and a lot more to do with the political establishment and the media using psychological operations against this country the same way George Soros did with his color revolutions in other countries in Europe. So they prop up this guy Spencer and say there's a big problem with white supremacy and that whites are the reason for all your problems and that white people are racist and trying to hold you down. And what that does is, in many young people's minds, it makes white people, specifically libertarians and conservatives, less than human. It's the same thing they do with war when they say that the opposition is killing children. They did this with throwing babies out of incubators during the Iraq War, although it never really happened. They did this during World War I with the Germans. And so you do this because if your population views their opponent in this political environment, the establishment's opponents are people with libertarian values, people who want to get back to the Constitution. So you make the public believe that these people are racist, that these people hate you. And then they become less than human, and groups like Antifa rise. And then every time a libertarian or a conservative attempts to hold a rally just to express their ideas, which have nothing to do with hate, I mean, some people do, but most libertarians and conservatives just want constitutional values and limited government. But it doesn't matter, because now you have these hordes of young people, Antifa, whatever it might be, who view libertarians and conservatives as less than human. Psychological warfare. So then they use violence to shut down rallies, and now you have white people seeing this, that they're being condemned at every turn, and they see that libertarian and conservatives, who many of whom are white, although there are plenty of minority libertarians and conservatives who are great people, the media doesn't want to tell you that. They don't. That's why YouTube just deplatformed Diamond and Silk. God forbid black people are seen being Trump supporters. They can't have that because it goes against their narrative. You see how everything's controlled. But now white people see that their speech is being shut down. So what happens? Fringe groups like the people you saw at Charlottesville, who are some KKK members, emerge and they fight back against speech being shut down and the condemnation of white people. And then you get the inevitable clash between Antifa and KKK people, although they're very fringe. Now, we have to understand the nature of the beast. So they wage this psychological warfare. And then the next thing they want is they want race division, they want tribalism, they want whites to be with whites, black to be with blacks. When if we want to make any positive societal change, we all need to come together against the government and realize that we are brethren, we are together in this, that we all just want liberty and we don't hate each other. I don't hate you because the color of your skin. I might not like you if I meet you, but I will judge every person as an individual. So if you're black, you start with a clean slate to me. I'll shake your hand, look you in the eye, and if you're a good guy, I'll be your best friend. And if you're white and I shake your hand, you look me in the eye, and it turns out you're a piece of trash, I'll tell you that to your face, and vice versa. I don't care what the color of your skin is. So the next thing they do is they need violence. Now, if you look back during the 2016 presidential election, because we have to learn, right? We have to learn from history. Undercover Project Veritas videos showed that Hillary Clinton and the DNC were paying people with mental illness to start violence, to start fistfights at Trump rallies. Why were they doing this? Because the media is controlled. So what you do is you pay people with mental illness to start violence at Trump rallies, and then after a Trump person gets spit on or punched in the face, they fight back naturally. That's the human reaction, and everything's happy, right? No, because the media is controlled, right? This is the narrative that they want. So now they show on the news, oh, look at all these crazy white people attacking minorities at Trump rallies. And they run a psychological operation showing the country that, see, what we're saying is true, white people are hateful, white people don't like you. And this is all designed as a divide and conquer strategy. And if you do your research, you find out that the CIA has always infiltrated these movements and turned them into hateful movements, and many of these Antifa free speech protests, or whatever they are, anti-fascism, which actually is fascism, because they're shutting down the free speech of others, oppress the opposition, that's in the definition of fascism. So many of these people are actually, like during the election, paid agitators. So they are paid to show up at Berkeley and start physical altercations. And the media wants this because they know the media is not going to call it out, right? If you follow grassroots media, you know this has been happening. But if you follow the mainstream media, they're like, no, this hasn't been happening. A train is passing here, so I'm going to do some walking. So you have these violent people show up at these rallies, and nothing's been happening. It's been pretty good. The libertarian and conservatives haven't been hitting back for the most part. But then you get the KKK people who show up, a bunch of idiots, and Antifa shows up, and all day there's fist fights, both sides starting fights, right? There's no question about that. If you watch the videos from all day, I posted some to FFRnews on my page, there's just people on both sides having fist fights. It wasn't peaceful protest and then a sudden car crash. It was a soft war zone. So anyway, someone eventually takes it too far, predictably, and the establishment uses psychological warfare, so of course people are assholes, there's beeps. Sorry for my language. So they use psychological warfare, and people are getting fistfights, and then afterwards, what's the narrative from the media? All they say is, this is right-wing terrorism, this is white extremism, right? And they show the car mow through the crowd of people, and they say, this is just like what we see from the Islamic terrorists. When you're comparing apples to oranges, I mean, in reality, what happened, and believe me, I'm not defending white supremacists. I think that's such a backwards way of viewing the world. But what the media says happened is, oh, well, there was just a random peaceful protest from the anti-fascist who are being so peaceful, and then all of a sudden, boom, a car, terrorism goes through a crowd. When in reality, there were fistfights escalating all day, and it's more like gang violence, and eventually someone just takes it too far. So someone takes it too far and runs the car through the crowd, but the media says, oh, well, this is all just one-sided, this is right-wing terrorism, this is what's happening in America. When in reality, there is the political establishment and the media purposely driving race relations, race division in America. This gets back to the nature of the beast. How do we combat this? We have a small window. They're trying to shut us down. The ADL is now censoring controversial content on YouTube. Twitter censors quote-unquote sensitive content, which is really just anything that goes against the political establishment's narrative and the mainstream media's narrative. But we still have this small window where we actually haven't been shut down enough, where grassroots media can show the public what's really happening. So when you're out at a rally in Berkeley to hear Ben Shapiro or someone speak, and Antifa or some violent group who probably has paid people that are paid to show up and start fights with you, knowing that the media will only call out your violence. The proper way to deal with this, and this is on both sides, is civil disobedience. We have the media. They're terrified of us. We're winning. We're winning the media war, the culture war. All you have to do is sit there and take it. Because if we could go and plaster all over the internet you peacefully assembling, which you have a right to do, and then Antifa or whatever group it is, or a KKK group, whatever group it is, coming and beating you up. See, this is what Martin Luther King understood. He understood that African Americans at that time had been projected in the media as being evil, as being bad, as being criminals. And he understood that if he convinced the people that marched with him to just take the beating, that they would grow more powerful with every strike. Because eventually the public would see who is right. And clearly the side that was right was Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement. And when you show people sitting by, meditating as they're getting kicked in the face and not hitting back, there is power in that. With every strike, you become more powerful. And we need a return to civil disobedience. So when you're at one of these rallies, learn how to protest. If you want to win, if you want your ideas to flourish, to show that you do have the right ideas, that you do stand for peace and liberty for all people, then when you're at one of these rallies, when you're at Ben Shapiro's rally or whoever it is you support, I don't care if this could be a left-wing person, if there's some KKK person trying to intimidate you and beat you up. Practice civil disobedience and take it, and with every blow, you will grow more powerful. And this is how I will live my life, and with every blow, I will grow more powerful, and I will spread my message of peace, of civil disobedience. And one day I'll get bigger, and if they strike me down, I'll grow more powerful than they could ever imagine. Make me the martyr. Because in the end, the martyr wins. In the end, Gandhi wins. In the end, Martin Luther King wins. Civil disobedience is how you win, because that's what the nature of the beast says. Once you understand the nature of the beast, that the government, the media is operation through psychology, psychological warfare, then you understand that by returning violence, you're doing exactly what they've been trying to goat you to do the whole time. So practice civil disobedience, protest peacefully, and you will be amazed at the societal change we will have, because it's 2017. The media is using psychological warfare to divide us by race, and this is it just has to stop, but it's not going to stop until the people understand the nature of the beast. I'm Tom Anderson. I hope you spread this message. And I just wanted to know that I spread a message of love. So whether you're white, black, Latino, gay, straight, woman, male, I love you, and I only want you to have liberty, just as I want me to have liberty. I harbor no ill will against you based on the color of your skin. I will only judge you by the content of your character, and I hope that you do the same for me. Please share these links. If you want to support Grassroots Media, go to www.patreon.com. Type in Tom Anderson. For as little as $1 a month, you could support my Grassroots Media operation, and you can also gain exclusive access to Patreon-only videos that I post. So it's a win-win for both parties, and it's also a good lesson in life. You know, if you want people to give you money, don't just beg for it, provide a service. So I provide videos for patrons only. Nothing too crazy, but just my thoughts, with the hope that that could be appreciated, and I'm giving you something, you're giving me something, and I hope that you guys get my message and see that I'm sending a positive message to all of society. I've been fighting really hard making these videos. A lot goes into them. I'll do 20 hours of research on one topic a week, and then it's another 10 to 12 hours to produce a video. And when they come out, I think they're really good documentary type videos, something that I didn't even know I could do 5 months ago. I had no experience in anything towards documentary type creation, anything with that, but hey, I didn't have any experience with marketing and building a news organization, but I've done that all since September, and let that be a life lesson, that there's nothing you can't do. If you're out there, you can do amazing things in this world. You just have to believe in yourself. And if you're working a 9-to-5 job, you're not happy with it, keep working it. But after work, go home and try to build something. You could become self-sustainable. We could change this world together. and we're going to change this world. And when I have enough time, I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to show you how everything has been orchestrated. The Federal Reserve System, how it's just designed to rob us of our wealth, not just through taxation and federal income tax, but through inflation. Inflation is the biggest threat to us. It's why life is so hard. It's why 2-income households can't do what 1-income households used to do. And it's by design. And all of these things. And even I want to show you communism, because they say it's this grassroots movement. But I could show you that the Bolshevik Revolution was led by the same oligarchs who control the West. Everything is about control. They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. The government has always been the problem. They're our enemies. The Republicans, the Democrats. The day our founders, the founding fathers, went from being revolutionists against the government to the government, the nature of that beast said they started to become the problem. And that was the message they told us. They said, listen, listen, we have freed you. We've given you liberty. Now let's see if you can keep it. That's what they said to us. And I believe that was a Ben Franklin quote, although I'm not looking at it. I'm Tom Anderson. I wanted to spread a message of peace and civil disobedience. I love you. Put positive energy into the world, and positive energy will find you. FFR News. Have a good day, guys.